I recently, just this morning, had to go to the store, Lowe's, to get a part because I got to replace something on my well pump. I got a little leak. But while I was there, I ran into an old Army veteran in the plumbing section, and we just get to talking. We talked about, and I don't even know how we engaged in this conversation or how it even started, but we were sitting there, well, we were standing there for 45 minutes, just talking about the current state of the world and the economy and we had different views on the debt. We had different views on overseas military spending. He's an old Army veteran, and he feels as or he felt as though, or his position is that we should, as a country, uh, deter people beat through strength. It's this quote that Ronald Reagan had: "Strength through or peace through war, strength through dominance," or something like that. I forgot what it was, but we had a very good, healthy conversation, and we went on about our way. It was an intellectually stimulating conversation, and this is before I heard about this uh, uh, Kirk situation, this Charlie Kirk situation, where all he did was have respectful dialogue with people in the public square, talking about issues that affect the average day American. And, it's a sad thing where people can't get together. And it was interesting because I just had this conversation with a stranger, all Army veteran inside of Lowe's. And then I get home and I hear about this situation, Charlie Kirk being shot in the neck, and it sounds like somebody was 300 yards away. Clearly, they had a rifle, one shot, one kill, hit him in the neck. Obviously, they were typically they'll go for a chest shot, but apparently they could have been going for a chest shot and hit him in the neck, or they could have been going for a head shot or hit him in the neck. Uh, it's unfortunate because this man has passed away, 31 years old, and he was an excellent. He's like one of the things that you follow, one of the people that you follow on social media, because the positions that he took were very sound, uh, reasonable, and he was able to dialogue with people, and a lot of people didn't like what he said or the positions that he took. And it was amazing to see the irrational responses and behaviors of people that did not agree with his positions. And we're living in a time where everybody's just so polarized, everybody's so divided, that we're getting to the point now, or we are at the point now, and this proves it, that people who disagree uh, to a certain level, they're willing to take the lives of the other person simply because they disagree with their position. Now, me personally, I've said it over and over again, even people that I may not even like, um, in this world, I would never wish death or destruction or bodily harm on that individual. And I'm all for public civil debate, where people can look at the facts, look at the situation, and people can come to their own conclusions as to who's operating in the spirit of truth and in operating in the spirit of error. And we have others like this individual, Charlie Kirk, that goes out on college campuses and is speaking. And there was this other sister, Katie, and she has security with her. But unfortunately, and I've said this over again, anybody can be touched. Um, this lady has security with her, and she as well speaks a lot of controversial things. And I forgot her name. I think Kate Safe Space, something like that. But anybody know who I'm talking about? Put it in the comments. But we're getting to the point, or we are at the point where people can't simply disagree. They have to go the violence route. And what is this? What are the implications of this thing this assassination, because it was in fact an assassination. We don't know whether it's the government that was involved or right wing or distant and third, but it's going to cause more people like the sister or the lady that I spoke about, and she has a child. She gave birth and everything, and she was on the circuit speaking while she was pregnant. And what is this going to do? It's going to uh, put people on notice not to speak publicly. It's going to curtail free speech. It's going to put people in a position now where, hey, do I defend my position publicly? Do I speak on the issues at hand, even though that they're controversial? Because there's people out there where you have, the unemployment rate, you have uh, default rates going up in homes and mortgages and credit cards. You have repos going up. You have evictions going up. You have benefits being cut. And you have that coupled with uh, people today are on an exorbitant amount of psychotropic drugs. And this is what a lot of people are not talking about. There's a lot of people that are on uh, 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 meds to control their, their minds. They're simply losing it. You got people that are losing their jobs, and people are just they're losing it. And this is what you have when you have a culmination of uh, people that are under these stresses, and then you have the ideological war. It's a powder cake. And I also saw this young Ukrainian woman get stabbed by a black man that was in and out of jail. And it should have never been on the streets in the first place. Stabbed and walk on about his way. People, we are in a state in this country where all it's going to take is just one incident. And I personally believe that it's going to be some situation where one of these National Guard folks go in and they get shot, or they shoot some innocent young black man running from, throwing a Molotov cocktail. And then you're going to see all hell breaks loose. We're already seeing hell break loose when it comes to the moral and spiritual decline. Or this country's bankrupt. And we're seeing it happen right before our very eyes. So, it's amazing because you don't see this kind of stuff. And I go back to how I started out this video. Of me just going to Lowe's and having a peaceful dialogue with a random stranger about political issues. And we were able to say, hey, I agree. I understand what your position is. But overall, you're going to have people that fear doing that. And one of the things that I noticed is that while we were talking, there were other men in the plumbing section just coming and going. And I got this look, and it was just kind of strange, to look, because you got two people, respecting one another, having discord about various social economic issues that's going on and affecting our country today. And you saw people that looked, and we're living in some trying times. What are the implications of this shooting? Well, I personally believe, again, that is going to muzzle free speech, because this was a young man, 31 years old, family man, wife, children, snuffed out because of his views. And I never once saw this man get riled up in any way, shape, or form. I never saw him dishonor or disrespect anybody that he was having a civil debate with. This is why I see anytime I saw him talking, he was always having a respectful, civil debate. We're at the stages now where you can't even have that. Amazing, isn't it? Be careful out there.